Mark of Kings. The complete series. Mark of Kings 1. The Arena. Written by Avril Sabine. Dedication. For Reese, there are far too many reasons to list why. Book description. Shen was separated from his family during a volcanic eruption when he was 3 years old. No one has ever come forward to claim him, but he refuses to believe he's an orphan. Trained to be a sword fighter at an arena, he uses the battle circuit to travel the country looking for clues about his family. All he has is a gold medallion known as the Mark of Kings. Prologue. The marketplace of Saripa was the busiest it had ever been. All week, ships had pulled into the harbor with survivors from a volcanic eruption that had destroyed 6 islands that had been close together. The men, women and children deposited in Saripa were sent to the marketplace. Their names and destinations were written in a large book people were calling the Survivor's Book. Some people had already found family and friends with the help of the book, but there were countless people left hoping another ship had picked up their loved ones. Many feared the worst. "Bring the next group," a bearded man bellowed from behind the large table where he wrote names in the survivor's book. Set up over him was a white awning while everyone else was forced to stand in the hot summer sun. A group of young children were brought forward and some of the smaller ones were sobbing. Each child was asked their details and a short description written if they didn't know much. Townspeople from the crowd were then asked if any could take in the child while a search was made for their family. The last child was brought forward. He'd stood apart from the other children, solemn blue eyes calmly watching the proceedings. Like the other children, he was smudged with ash from the volcanic eruption. He might have been alone, but he didn't have the lost expression of some of the other, younger children. He held himself straight, his chin up as if he expected his family to step forward at any moment to collect him. Name. The bearded man wiped at the back of his neck with a stained handkerchief. Shen, the boy said. Shen. The man wrote it down. No. The boy shook his head vigorously. Shes. Shen. The man frowned. This time he dabbed at his forehead. Shesh Sen? He stared at the boy who once again shook his head. How old are you, lad? 3. 4 soon. Ah, you're fairly tall for your age. Now what was your name again? Shes. Shes? Sen, the boy tried again. Shen? The boy nodded. Well, Shen, where are you from? Shen shook his head. Then who are you, lad? The patience in his voice sounded forced. Mama's favorite little prince. Be king one day. Laughter trickled through the crowd. The bearded man smiled briefly before he mopped his face with the damp handkerchief. We don't have kings in Rimalis. And none of the islands had them. Maybe you were visiting from another country. The mayor from the island stood amongst the crowd, fanning himself with a folded square of paper. We didn't have any important visitors. And certainly not royalty. What's hanging around your neck? The bearded man pointed to the leather cord that disappeared inside of Shen's tunic. Shen held up the small gold medallion that hung from the leather cord at his neck. Mark of Kings. More laughter came from the crowd, louder this time. Where's your crown? One man called out. Where's your sword? A woman asked. Here, borrow mine, lad. A man stepped forward, laughing, and offered a sword to Shen. That's too big for the boy. Can't you see the sword is half the size of him? My dagger'd be more than big enough. Another man came forward with a long dagger, holding it out to Shen. Bowing slightly and a little clumsily, Shen took the dagger and held it like he knew how to use it. Even his stance changed. "Looks like he's ready to take on everyone," a woman yelled out. "Should put him in the arena," another called. "He'd probably suit it better than the ones you've already sent there." "I'll take you on, boy." A man stepped forward, drawing his dagger. He laughed as he glanced around the crowd, grinning when a cheer rose from the group. "I'll match you dagger for dagger. To keep things fair." He winked at a young woman near the edge of the crowd. A quick nod was the only answer Shen gave before springing forward, knocking the dagger from the man's hand. "Hey, I wasn't ready," the man protested when everyone laughed at him. He hurried over to his dagger and grabbed hold of it before he faced Shen. The grin disappeared, replaced by a glare. "Try that again, brat." Within minutes, his dagger lay on the ground and the crowd laughed and clapped, the oppressive heat forgotten with the unexpected entertainment. The man glowered at the dagger where it lay. Another man stepped out of the crowd and everyone fell silent. He looked at the boy thoughtfully, his weathered hat shielding an equally weathered face. Stepping near Shen, he gripped the boy's chin with calloused fingers and tilted his head back. "You want to be a king, Prince Shen?" Shen nodded his head, staring up at the man who towered over him. No fear filled his solemn gaze, only curiosity. "The only kings we have around here are the ones in the arena. Do you want to be king of all the arenas in Rimalis?" Shen didn't hesitate. "Yes." "Mark it down in the book." The man let go of Shen's chin to turn to the bearded man. "I'll take Prince Shen." A brief nod and the nib of the pen scratched across the page. "Prince Shen to stay with Derek Bartley, headmaster trainer of Saripa Arena."